Hello! Thank you for joining us today. My name is Eric. I'm here with my babe Tiffany. One of these people around here is Steven, and the other one is JJ Jim Jam, and we are Just Got Played, and today we're going to be reviewing and showing you Planet Unknown, which is a game for 1 to 6 players and has a polyomino style.
Brief overview of Planet Unknown. You're going to start with a corporation board and a planet board. There are versions of these on the other side that are asymmetric. But here you're going to have cubes for these trackers that you need to start down here at 0. You're going to have a number of rovers available. You're going to need to select a player color for yourself. You're going to need to put life pods on the designated spots on your planet. And between the player to your right and the player to your left, you're going to have some objective cards. So for instance, this one says the largest single area of water terrain on your planet. If you have more than the person to your right, you'll get 5 points. If you tie with them, you'll get 2. And here, the player on the left, you want to have the most city resources, which are the black ones on the edge of your planet. All right, and then what happens is the player who is the commander for that round takes the Lazy Susan space station and just spins it and sets it to whichever orientation they want, because each one of these, which is 2 tiles, is a depot that's going to be facing one of the players. And then you know which is yours, so you decide one of those that you want to pick, and then you place it on your planet. Now, depending on what you've placed here, you're going to move up on the tracks. The blue ones, if they've been placed, if any of them have been placed on an actual water ice space on the planet, you would move that up 1. And then the red one, I would move that up. And what I've covered up here is a rover symbol, which means I get a rover, which needs to be put on that tile that I just placed. And we'll talk about what the rovers are used for here soon. So all the different tracks you have here. This is the Civ track, which is moved up with the black tiles. If you reach level 1, 2, 3, etc., you reach for whatever cards are still available for that level, and you get to look at all of them, and you can choose one to keep. So they could be something that gives you an immediate advantage, or it could be something that you save points for the end of the game. So that is the black tiles. I mentioned the blue tiles get moved up if you've placed on water. Mostly that is just a lot of points. There is this symbol on the track and other places on the track, which means you move some other track up 1. Or I guess you can move that track up as well. You basically move a track up 1. The green ones give you these biomass tokens, which you place immediately on the board in some space, just to help fill up your planet, because you do want to fill up rows and columns on your planet. There is an ability here where you can store these for the end of the game instead of placing them immediately. On the red track, there are numbers. So you can see that here, if I move this one up, I would get a 1. So 1 means I can move a rover 1 space. They move orthogonally. They can move off of the tiles they're on. And why do you want to move them rover around? If you move on top of these life pods, you claim them, and they're worth points at the end of the game. And also, eventually, we'll be getting meteorites on the planet. We'll talk about those in a second. And those are bad, and you want to remove those. And then there's the technology track here, where as you move up, there are different levels of technology that you unlock that give you game-breaking abilities, essentially. Things that let you violate the rules. All right, so let's say I were to take another tile and place it. For instance, what if I were to place this tile on my next turn? Okay, well, I could place that there. I would move up the green, I would move up the gray, and I would need to immediately put a meteor on that site, because that's what that symbol says. Now, that meteor is going to prevent me from scoring this row and this column unless I get rid of it with the rover before the end of the game, or through a card or something. Also, meteorites, when you remove them from your planet, are worth points. And let's say I were to place another tile. I want to place this because this is energy, which is not tracked on the board like this, so I want to explain that. All right, well, what if I were to place this here? So number 1, I can just do this, and this destroys this life pod. If the rover were there, it could also destroy the rover. So you may decide that you need to do that for some reason. But this type of terrain is called energy. And what it means is now that I've placed it, I can activate on the track. I can move up on the track any of the adjacent, orthogonally adjacent colors. So for instance, I could go up on the rover track, or I could go up on the biomass track, or I could go up on the water track after I've placed this tile. All right, so you're going to keep doing this until either one of the depots, meaning where a player chooses from, is depleted. If that happens, then the game is over at the end of that round. Or if a player cannot choose a tile and legally place it on their planet. Remember, you can't place tiles outside of the planet's boundary, and you need to be able to place adjacent to other tiles. But anyway, if you can't place one of the tiles that you're given on the planet, you still take the tile and move up on the track, but you don't get to place it, and that ends. And when you go to final scoring, one of the things to pay attention to is if you have completed a row and a column, you will score points for each one of those. So you can see each one of these rows has points associated with them. Each one of these columns has points associated with them. Something like this is easier to score. It's only 2 spaces, so it's only worth a point. But, a column all the way through the middle is worth 3 points. But you have to have tiles on every square in that column or row to score it, and no meteorites. All right, well, that's a general idea of how the game is played. Now let's go back up top and we'll tell you what we think about it.
Thank you, Stephen. That was a really awesome and concise evaluation and declaration of the game itself. So I'm pretty sure we all have a lot of opinions on this game. So let's just start it off. JJ, what did you like about this game?
Well, as everyone knows by now, because you've been watching all the videos, JJ likes his scaled up games that go very nicely. Simultaneous player action. Love it. Like bigger games, usually if you have like 5 or more people, somebody's sitting around in most games and you're twiddling your thumbs. With this, everybody gets to do something at the same time during the grab the thing out of the thing, the lazy Susan, that phase. Yeah. And then, so as everybody's doing, trying to fit their piece in onto their planet, everybody, it's all happening at the same time. So love me some simultaneous player action. That's, that won me. I've only played it once. I love the game. It's like, all right, I'm going to play this again. If somebody has it out, we got 6 people, Planet Unknown, just because everybody gets to do something on their turn.
Excellent. That is awesome. That is so awesome. I'm going to piggyback off of you because mine is pretty much the same thing. I love the simultaneous play in this game because my real is that I feel like it's a fairly short game, and not short. It's going to take you more than 15 minutes, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's really fun for what it is. It packs a really good punch, and then it's over and you had fun. And I think it's because of that simultaneous play that it achieves the pace that it's looking for in that, and really just gives you a nice complete package like that. So I was going to go last, but I agree with you. So that's 2 votes for us. Babe, what did you like about the game?
So I am really tempted to piggyback with you guys. I do like the fact that everybody takes their turn at the same time, and so it moves really quickly and it feels like you're pretty involved. But since I'm not going to be a copycat, I'm going to pick something unique about it. And I would say that my favorite thing about it is the polyomino tiles and the polyomino aspect of the game. So I love a good Tetris, and I could spend all day just seeing how pieces fit together best and how I can get points best and how to arrange things so that my rovers can try to get the pods quickest and all of these things. Like you're looking at scoring when you're placing, so you're trying to maximize your points, and it's just a lot of fun with polyomino pieces. So I think that's probably my favorite part of this game.
Okay, respectfully disagree, but I hear exactly what you're saying. That's excellent. All right, Stephen, now tell us whether me and JJ are right or if Babe is right. What is your
Well, you are correct that simultaneous play is good. Polyominoes is not really my jam, but I do still like this game. But, I think about my favorite thing about this game, though, is it is really easy to teach. I mean, I just, did an explanation a minute ago, right of the game, and it's not a comprehensive explanation, but it, basically teaches everything you need to know about the game. And it was really short. I played this game for the first time at Dice Tower East the deluxe edition, which was all that was out at the time. And, then later that afternoon, I played the game again with 5 other people, all who were new. And so I taught the game, so I hadn't even looked at the rule book. I played it one time, taught by a person. Then I sat down just later that afternoon and taught the game. No problem. Right. It's so simple. You're like, okay, you got to take these polyominoes, you got to put them on your planet. And then you trigger this track, which does this, or this that does this, or this that does, there's all just right there on your board, right? Pretty easy to explain. And that matters a lot to me, a game that's easy to explain, particularly with my gaming group. So we do typically have, say 6 players who want to play a game. So there's a lot of people and we want to play a game fast. And part of playing a game fast is being able to explain it fast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times that we get a group together and it's an hour or more into it till we actually start playing the game. So everybody gets settled and you go through the instructions and everything.
I start losing people. If it's more, maybe over 15 minutes of explanation, people are just sort of tuning out, like you're still talking, you're still explaining rules.
Like we barely got started. You got to pay attention. Yeah, but
no
that's
phones at the
definitely
table.
This. No thumbs at the table?
Phones. No phones.
Oh, no phones.
No phones.
I was going to say, come on, man, you got to have our thumbs. All right.
JJ's hardcore.
I'll say, like, we don't play with thumbs here. Okay. Awesome.
No thumbs.
All right. Those are 4 excellent likes around the horn. So, Stephen, you finished us off. So why don't you start off this round? What is your dislike of this game?
Yeah, interestingly enough, because I talk about the game so fast to play, but I feel like it's not that fast to put away. And, I guess it depends on your sort of philosophy with how you do it. But because I feel like, there's a lot of polyomino pieces that just didn't get taken out of the Susan, the Susan space station, the lazy Susan. And then if you're just cleaning up from a board, you're just going to take the pieces off somebody's planet and put them back. And I feel like, well, that person probably had a strategy, a certain track. So you're just going to be stacking a bunch of the same pieces on top of each other. I mean, to really put the game back well, you should take all the pieces out, shuffle them up and put them back in. And it's almost like that's not worth doing because that's so much effort, but like, that's what you should do, So yeah, that's a minor gripe really, with the game. But that was the first thing that came to me. I was like, I hate cleaning this game up.
Okay, I accept that. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to piggyback off of yours because I also have a minor gripe here. The box is too big. I'm sorry. It's huge. I mean, I get it. It's got a lazy Susan in there. So, it makes sense, but it just takes up so much space for being such a light, fun little game. It's massive on our shelves. It's like 2 or 3 games worth of stuff there. But again, this is a minor gripe here because I thoroughly enjoyed this game. We played it many times and then bought it, which ought to tell you how much we like this game because that doesn't usually happen,
Well, I will tell you, I have the hobby edition. You have the hobby edition. The deluxe edition, I think the box is the same, but it has 6 more planet boards and 2 more corporations in it. And I think people were complaining that it was hard to get everything in the box. So if you have all the stuff, which also maybe the minis in the deluxe edition might be bulkier.
It might push a little bit.
Yeah. So I think, hey, there's just room for expansion essentially in there, right? You love your expansions and extras, right?
Oh, yes. Yes, we do. All right. 2 minor gripes out of the way. Babe, what is your major gripe?
No, it's a minor gripe. And I think most people are going to disagree with me because this game is not intended to be a super heavy game that takes forever. But that's my complaint, that it doesn't let me play long enough with the polyomino. It doesn't let me try to fill out my board, really. It doesn't let me explore all of the ways the pieces fit together. I would like for it to be longer because I think that I get fascinated by trying to fit all these things together and, maxing out my points. So I just get lost in that and I could do that all day. So that's my gripe, that it doesn't let me do that for longer.
Oh, so I thought you were saying you wanted it heavier, like more complicated, but you're just saying you wanted it to be longer.
Yeah. I'm okay either way. You could add more game to it and I would be happy, or you could, because then I'd be getting more of it anyways, or you could just lengthen the amount of time that I get to put polyomino pieces down and I'm happy with that too.
You just want to nullify my it's easy to teach.
let's add more in there somehow.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate that, babe, because I know you very well, and the games that you like, that's your complaint, is it's not long enough. I want more of this. So, all right, 3 minor gripes. JJ, you have the last chance to get a major complaint in here.
Judges? No, sorry. They say there's no major gripe here. I can't come up with anything. So I can nitpick a little bit. I hate when my rovers get destroyed and I can't bring them back.
Well, that's just poor planning on your part.
Exactly. I'm trying to squeeze stuff on the planet. You know what I'm saying?
It was a minor gripe.
Yeah, I said it was a minor gripe. That's really it. Well, like Tiffany said, it doesn't stick around long enough. I'm sitting there looking at my board trying to fill stuff in, and I look up and like somebody's already like 2 rounds are left. I'm like, oh, well, I finally got the piece I was wanting, and then I finally fit it in, and I'm like, okay, now I can move on. I was like, oh, the game's about to be over. So I guess my real major gripe is that there's kind of like the take that thing, because you could go around and not get a piece that you need. Like I need that L shape, but it just, somebody just kept spinning it around. By the time it's my turn, it's like, well, I could take that L shape that I need, or I can get this really, good piece that has like no meteorites or asteroids, whatever it is. And it's like that technology I'm trying to build up. So it's like, do I want to build up the technology or fit this piece in nicely so I can finish my whole planet? So that's the only thing I have. Like if I don't make that decision on my turn, then I might just lose out on it for the rest of the game. But I mean, that's like kind of a minor-ish gripe.
The people that I've played this with, nobody's ever played it sort of cutthroat. They just turn the Susan such that they get what they need, right?
You're
they
such nice friends. I don't know what you're talking about. My board game experience has been completely different.
Well, so that's just a different philosophical thing. Do you want to maximize your benefit on your turn, or do you want to try to screw somebody? I mean, if you do the math, you actually should just be maximizing your thing, because you can't screw 5 people at once. But
if you can screw other people, then you try to screw other people.
I can tell you, somebody did that, and they turned it so that the one depot out of 6 that was facing me, I couldn't fit either of the shapes. Like if they had put any other depot facing me, so I was like, oh, well, this is the last turn, game's over. And they're like, oh, what? Because they wanted to do more stuff. I'm like, well, you did it, not me.
There you go. There you go. That's my only gripe. You turn that thing, and then you kind of screw yourself. So,
all right, that's fair. What are you going to do? There you have it from the 4 of us. We have a lot of like and not a lot of dislike on this game. I think it's just a really good game. I've had a lot of fun playing it. Like I said, we got this after playing it a bunch, which kind of just speaks volumes to how good we think it is, because otherwise, I mean, we're lucky to play something 4 or 5 times and then, everything else happens. So I'm a big fan. I guess that's it, guys. Anything else?
No, it's good.
That's all I have.
Like
it's hard to hate on a game where you have some different playing, you have different starting stuff, and then it plays well at large count. It's hard to do that. The only other one I can think of is like Ethnos, maybe that plays well at 6 players, but this is definitely in that group now.
Oh man, I'm gonna do a whole video of games that do well at 6 players. I got like 20 of them. Come on.
Yeah, but they've really gotten a lot better. What? The last 4 or 5 years, there's been a lot.
And there's a lazy Susan
in the 6 player.
There is a lazy Susan.
How many games have a lazy Susan in there?
That's the only one that I know of. It's why I didn't back it in the first place. I was like, oh, this is a gimmick. And I'm sorry, but it may be, but it works. This is a lot of fun. So anyway, that's us. I'm Eric. I'm here with my babe Tiffany. We also have Steve and we have JJ. And we are Just Got Played. We want to thank you for watching our review, which was mostly positive. Please check us out. Come and join us on the Discord. If you think we're wrong or we missed something, tell us. We would love to hear it and argue with you all day. Give us a thumb, give us a subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, y'all. Have a great day.